Well, for the first time this season, north of the border, the roof is open here at the Rogers Center. No Vladdy in the starting lineup for the Blue Jays tonight, but 15,000 through the gates here tonight are getting his bobblehead. It's a young Vladdy, it's a baby Vladdy. Marlins are hoping to avoid him these next 3 nights, but we are headed towards a sold-out capacity crowd.
The Marlins want chaos. They just want to fight off pitches, put it in play, get on base, and run as much as they can.
And if Trey Yesavage can prevent that like he did in his last start against the Yankees, that ERA just over 1 right now in his 5 starts. He went 6 scoreless innings in the Bronx against the Yankees. He retired 18 of the 20 batters he faced, just allowed 2 hits. 3 of his outings now have been scoreless out of the 5 starts that he has made, and he came out hot that night in New York with an electric fastball.
Edwards hitting .313, and he can run. He's got 3 triples. He's got 6 steals. A good guy to keep off the bases if you can.
Xavier Edwards lofts one towards the right field corner. It's picked off by Jesus Sanchez. X wants a double. He's got a double to start the ball game. The last time we were here in Toronto, Xavier Edwards collected the first 3 triple game in franchise history. He starts this one with a 2-bagger.
So a leadoff double, and here is Toronto's Liam Hicks, and you could definitely hear some friends, family, old teammates, coaches, we don't know who, but he told us before the game he's got a lot of people here.
Grounds that to the right side. Clement's got it.
A productive out number 1, 4-3 on the putout, and Edwards pushes to third. It'll be up to Otto Lopez to put the ball in play. Otto Lopez, another guy with Canadian roots, represented Canada at the World Baseball Classic.
Swinging a high fly ball in the air to left. Pinango's going back onto the warning track. In front of the wall, he's got it. But trotting home is Xavier Edwards in a sacrifice fly for Otto Lopez. And the Marlins strike first. They lead 1-0.
Well, the first run that Savage has given up here at home.
So 1-0, 2 outs, and the base is empty. And here is Kyle Stowers, the DH for Miami.
Swung on and missed, strike 3. Got him on a splitter, but the Marlins get to Savage a little bit in the first inning. Leadoff double by Edwards, and he's driven in on a sac fly from Canadian Otto Lopez.
Junk is 30 years old. He's in his 6th big league season. That ERA has crept up over 5 because his last 2 starts have been really tough. Gave up 8 runs against Atlanta. He had given up 7 runs in his previous start against Tampa Bay, and he's really dominated right-handed batters, so we'll see how these Blue Jays righties handle him. They've hit just 177 against him, really controlling the right-hand side hitters.
2-2 is Chase. That was a sweeper off the plate away, and Junk gets a punch out. That has been the pitch that has done Okamoto in.
Trey Yesavage looking to build off of his best start this season. He retired 18 of 20 Yankees batters he faced last time out. Now, he was in total control of how he navigated that dangerous lineup, and while the velocity did tick up and the splitter was on point, it was his slider that was the real game changer for him.
Puts it in play off the glove of Yesavage, who scoops it over to first. And cracking a smile, never could find it and just swatted it with his glove for the out.
You can't make this stuff up. If you can't squeeze it, just throw it over there with anything. Attaboy, Trey.
And the boys are laughing. Is this 1-1-1-3 on the putouts? 2 down, and here's Owen Casey.
Lopez, Hicks, and Casey played for Team Canada.
Swing and a miss, and Yesavage gets him.
Around his circus play from Savage, a 1-2-3 inning, 2 Ks.
And Yesavage has retired everybody since the leadoff double by Xavier Edwards. Here's Esteuri Ruiz, the number 9 hitter. Swing and a miss, and a slider away, and that's 4 strikeouts for Yesavage.
He's got all 3 pitches working now that he's corrected that splitter from earlier.
Infield, jogging over toward the right side as the righty Springer is retired and the left-handed hitting Nathan Lucas steps in. Runner on first, 2 down. He's smoked on a line right field, base hit. Coming around second, Valenzuela easily into third. It's a 2-for-2 start for Nathan Lucas, and runners on the corners with 2 down.
2 very good at-bats already tonight from Nathan Lucas in his return, and that's the approach I'm sure John Schneider is thrilled to see back in the 2-hole.
So first and third, 2 outs. Valenzuela likes it, and that'll get Pinango to the plate.
Pinango with a bouncer over to second. X has got that no problem. Jansen Junk, more soft contact. He strands runners at first and third.
It's the second time in this ball game that Lopez has tattooed a ball to the warning track.
And there are 2 men going.
Kyle Stowers, who struck out, saw 3 splitters from Yusavage in the first inning. Couldn't connect on any of them.
Swing and a miss. He punched him out on a splitter in the dirt. Trey Yusavage has retired 12 in a row, but the Marlins still leading 1-0 on the back of their first inning sac fly.
Okamoto's at third. And Jansen Junk finds himself in his first real pickle here tonight.
First and third, nobody out. The infield will play in for the Marlins with Ernie Clement at the plate.
Well, this has popped up. This isn't going to work. And Xavier Edwards is there, and there's 1 out. It's a big first out here in the 4th.
And no doubt frustrated, especially with a couple of men on. Now it'll be Andres Jimenez hit a fly ball to center. His first time up. The infield remains in.
Swing and a miss. He got him. Junk strikes out Jimenez on that slider. And he's got back-to-back outs after the back-to-back singles to start the frame.
So it's going to be up to Brandon Valenzuela, who had a base hit on a swinging bunt to the third base side of the mound in his first at bat.
Valenzuela smokes that out to right. Might be hanging up, and it is. That thing was hit on the screws, but it hung up for Owen Casey, who sprinted in and a little to his right to make the grab in strand 2.
Trey Yusavage has allowed 1 base runner today. He came in to score, and despite the Blue Jays out hitting the Marlins 5-1, it's the Marlins in front.
And now it's Javier Sanoja.
Sanoja yanks that fair down the left field line. This is headed towards the corner. Piñango's going to have to dig it out. And Javier Sanoja's got the 2nd hit in this ball game for the Marlins, and their first since the leadoff double in the first. Run dancing, little man.
And now it's Owen Casey seeing Yusavage.
You would like to see some more base runners get on for the Marlins and let them utilize that weapon that they have, and that's speed.
Owen Casey drills this out towards the gap in right center. That baby is ticketed for the wall. Back-to-back 1-out doubles. And the Marlins lead 2-0. Welcome home, Owen Casey.
Well, he had a big series against the Mets where he drove in 4. He got a 4-seam fastball up in the zone. He just drills it into right center field. It's a big RBI, big tack-on run for the Marlins here.
Well, Trey had really been dominating Casey with the splitters, but he came back with a fastball and left it right down the middle. And if you do that to Owen Casey, he is probably going to make you pay.
Hit number 6 for the Blue Jays in the 3rd inning in a row. The leadoff man has reached.
The Springer is 0 for 3, and now it's Nathan Lucas, who is 2 for 2 in his return from the IL.
And it's lined into left. Another hit for Lucas. He's 3 for 3.
And the Blue Jays have another threat here early on in an inning.
Here's Piñango.
Smoked on the line, 1 bounce, and into right center field. Coming around third, Sosa scores. Into third goes Nathan Lucas. RBI hit Piñango, who snuck it under the armpit of Xavier Edwards to make it 2-1. Blue Jays have cut that deficit in half. And the second-year catcher walks down to first. First walk for Yusavage. Kind of lost it there for a moment. A couple of big misses.
Kyle Stowers is the batter, and he has not had any fun tonight. Yusavage has gotten him with a number of splitters.
Kyle Stowers, he pops one up in his shallow left. You got Jimenez working back. Piñango coming on, and nobody makes the catch. Meanwhile, Hicks off on contact will come all the way in from first base to score. It was a lazy pop-up. Totally lazy.
And that's going to go down as a double for Stowers. That should have been an out. Big break for the Marlins.
Stowers at second with 2 outs here in the 6th as Marcy waits on a 3-2, and it's in the dirt, ball 4. Third base runner of the inning for the Marlins against Yusavage.
And the batter is going to be Javier Sanoja. A tough out. Grounded out his first time up, and then doubled and scored his last time up.
That one drilled out to left field. Piñango totally misread that. A liner right over his head. Marcy around third. He's coming in to score on the heels of Stowers. And Javier Sanoja smokes a 2-run double. Piñango is living a nightmare in left field this inning. And it's 5-1 Marlins in the top of the 6th.
Piñango tried to size this up. It's a line drive, get a good look at it. By the time he realized where it was, it's over his head. And then he compounded the problems by throwing to the wrong place.
And now Clayton McCullough has turned it over to the bullpen. Right-hander Lake Bacher. Ernie Clement 0 for 2.
And Clement drives it high in the air, deep left field. Going back, Ruiz, running out of room at the wall. It's gone! Clement leads off the bottom of the 6th with a home run, his 4th of the year. And maybe the Blue Jays are ready to punch back. It's 5-2 for the Marlins Bottom of the 6th inning.
Not unlike a recent Ernie Clement one that just kept traveling to the pull side. Couldn't quite tell if it had the legs until it got over. Ruiz was certainly tripped up by it, changing direction a couple times, but the Jays answered back.
So Otto aboard after the leadoff single from Hicks. Runners at first and second with nobody gone. Fish would love to tack on some insurance, and it'll be Kyle Stowers seeing Rogers.
Little liner, that's a fair ball for Stowers, rolling down the left field line. Maybe that bloop double did get him going. Throw coming into second is off target. And an RBI double for Kyle Stowers makes it 6-2 Miami. His second extra base hit of the ball game.
Well, you needed something after struggling in that Mets series in the first couple at bats.
The batter is Jacob Marcy.
And Jacob sends a high one-hopper over to third. Okamoto's got that. Only plays at first base. He fires to first to get Marcy by a step. But a run comes in. Lopez scores from third base. Stowers pushes to third on the RBI ground out from Jacob Marcy. And it's 7-2 Marlins over the Jays in the top of the 8th.
Runner at third, one out. The infield remains in for Javier Sanoja. Back to the mound. Rogers has him hung up between third and home. Okamoto to Valenzuela, and he'll put the tag on him for the second out. And on the play, Sanoja winds up at second. They're now 2 down. Left-hander Adam Macko has been up in the bullpen, so it looks like that's going to be all for Rogers. So these guys shared a dugout and were teammates in the WBC, but they are opponents here tonight.
Ground ball, that is through the right side of the infield. Mets in for a base hit. Sanchez coming up firing. Sanoja off in contact, and he dives in head first. It's an RBI single for Owen Casey, and the Marlins are pouring it on. 3 in the top of the 8th. It's 8-2 Fish.
Well, even on a night when you're on the wrong end of the scoreboard, I think everybody can celebrate what Tanner Andrews just did. 30 years of age, 11 years in the minors, made his major league debut tonight, had a 3-up, 3-down inning. Every guy he's high-fiving is happy for him right now. Lefty Cade Gibson in for the Marlins. And Lenin Sosa just drew his first walk of the season, either as a member of the White Sox or the Blue Jays.
Hard to do, but Gibson pulled it off.
After winning 4 in a row, the Blue Jays had their winning streak snapped yesterday, and the Marlins are on the verge of winning their 4th in a row for what will be the first time this season.
Yeah, really good starting pitching against the Mets at home. Jansen Junk did a really nice job in 5 innings, was able to pitch out a lot of traffic, a lot of jams.
Yohendrick Pinango, chopper over to second. This will do it, no problem. X has got it, he tosses to first, and that is the ball game. Dominance from start to finish. The Marlins scoring came late, but Jansen Junk set the tone, and the Marlins got to the young phenom Trey Yesavage.